Entrepreneurs around the world, particularly in the emerging Asian countries, face one very big challenge. The challenge is a challenge of people. This is very interesting. While business is created for the customers, by the customers, and really speaking based on the great value that you create, the delivery of that value is all done by people. And if you don't have a strong people piece in your organization, your delivery piece for the value is not going to happen. And that's why the entrepreneurs understand this and are now beginning to feel really very seriously about managing their people. Human resource comes out clearly as one of the most complex and critical area in the minds of entrepreneurs. There was a survey done recently by HBR Business School, Vietnam, on entrepreneurs to consider what are the top 3 or 4 important challenges that they are facing and what are their priorities. The business leaders from organizations having less than 50 people basically said the biggest concern is the people, HR. In fact, HR weightage is more than the sum total of the next 3 challenges. It is very interesting, but I am not surprised because this becomes as one of the P's which differentiates between success and failure. When I talk to the entrepreneurs and when I look at these startups and as organizations grow and scale up, they recruit people. They build teams, they create cultures, and they make people work and perform. The mindset of business leaders, typically when they take people in their organization and they recruit and select, is that they are buying performance. Listen to this again. The mindset of the business leaders when they are recruiting people is that they are buying performance. That means from day one, people have to begin to deliver. And if they don't deliver, really speaking, they don't have the right person. Now that's the mindset. On the contrary, what they're doing is that they are actually buying a resource which is raw. I call it a raw resource. So now there is a gap between a raw resource that you take and the performance that you are expecting them to deliver. This is a journey. It does not happen overnight. And there are 6 filters through which this raw resource goes through and walks through and begins to deliver performance. It is important for us to understand these 6 filters because it is only then that we will begin to see human resource from a different perspective and prepare our raw resource to deliver really good performance. The first filter. This is the filter when you are recruiting people. What kind of people are you recruiting? What is your criteria of filter? My recommendation always has been that you take people for their attitudes and their mindsets and their behaviors. Difficult thing to assess, but important thing to consider. Without this, you are actually not buying you are not taking the right people in your organization. This is a vital first filter. Let us say that you have crossed that filter and you have now a person who is fit with the right attitude and with the right mindsets, which fits into your own frame of things. Then it comes a second filter. The second filter particularly becomes important when you are taking middle management or senior management staff, and that's a filter of value. The values that people have in their mind contradict sometimes the value that your organization has to deliver performance. This misfit or misalignment is very expensive. Waste of time, waste of money, creating more frictions within the organization. So value becomes the second filter. There are ways to check on the value of individuals who are joining, but we have to find this out and cross the second filter. Then comes the third filter. You got the right person now, you got the right value, it is fitting into the value of your company, but there are not necessarily right skills. There are 2 things, as you know, the will and the skill. If you don't have the right skill, naturally the person will not be able to perform. So now, how do we invest in terms of learning and development for building those skills? Skills are of both kinds, hard skills and soft skills. Many times entrepreneurs look at only hard skills. So a better selling skill, for example, or there is a skill to develop strategies for senior management. But there are softer parts which are more difficult in learning and development. And that's the third filter. Let us say we have done a great job in terms of building competencies and capabilities in people. And then we come to the fourth filter. Still the person cannot deliver. Still the performance is not really up to the mark. And we now come to the fourth filter. And this is the filter where responsibility comes on the management, on the managers, as to how are we engaging with people. If we don't engage with people well, we don't build strong teams and create a team performance, we will not be able to get work done. And that's the fourth important filter. And now we are kind of getting ready to fifth filter, and the fifth filter is the filter of culture. As leaders, one of our biggest responsibility is to build and create great cultures where people can work. Culture is like a curry. When you cook food, you need really, the taste of the food comes because you build a great curry. So culture building becomes as an important part. You cross this filter, and then we finally come to the filter of management systems. Management systems are how do we inspire people, how do we measure their performance, how do we establish the goals, and how do people know what is expected out of them. These management systems are a vital part that you require in the architecture of building great company and great organization. Ladies and gentlemen, these 6 filters are vital part to look at a raw resource to begin to create a high impact delivery of performance. How do we learn this? So at BR Business School, there are various programs that are done by me. I'm coming to Vietnam and I am doing one program especially with regard to human resource on these 6 filters of how do we create a raw resource into a high performing individual for the company to build your company as a winning company.